Mum just said, don't get too confusing with the maths and I get too technical. And the reason why she said that is because tonight we're talking about
how much it costs to buy and sell a property. So it's something that we get asked all the time, and there seems to be a lot of confusion. So we're going to break it right down for you guys, and we're going to make it real simple. And that's why I said to Mr. Novak, don't get too mathematical and technical because people don't understand it. So we're going to keep it really simple for you guys, as if we were explaining this to a child, because I often feel that that is the best way to explain things, right? Especially when you guys are not transacting all the time like we are. So let's get into it. Mr. Novak. Here we go. Yes.
I'm not allowed to do too much maths.
Let's go.
But we're going to do a little bit of maths.
Yep. So guys, if you are buying a property, first we're going to cover if you're buying a property. So if you're buying a property, the reality of it is you need a
5 to 10% deposit.
Yep.
Sometimes as much as 20%, depending on what sort of fees you do or do not want to pay. So when you're, if we use 500K as an example for a first home buyer, great news. There's relief for you guys out there. You only need 5% if you qualify. That 5% means you only have to come up with 25K. So if mum and dad are trying to help you to get in, if you're trying to get in on a low deposit, you do need a good income, but 5 to 10% is about the barometer. So if you love that property and you saw that property, think I need 10% or 5% and you can possibly have that property.
Correct. Yep. So that's the first big expense. That's your main expense, all right? So don't even start looking at property, guys, if you don't at least have that 5% deposit, because you are going to need that. That's number one. Number two, the second fee that you are going to be up for is?
0 if you're buying. 0 if you're buying. So a lot of people may not know that you actually don't pay an agent when you're buying a property.
Yeah.
They're being paid by the seller.
Correct.
So
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
It's a simple one, but you should know that. Stamp duty.
Yeah. So here's big expense number two, guys. So besides your deposit, once you've purchased a property and you're settling on it, you do need to pay stamp duty. And we usually suggest, and there's many stamp duty calculators that you can find online, but we usually suggest a great equation is 4%.
Yeah.
So 4% of the purchase price, that's going to give you an approximate value as to what you're going to be up for on stamp duty.
So if you're a first home buyer, there are concessions. So you may qualify for 0 stamp duty under certain thresholds. You've got to look into that, new, secondhand, all that stuff. But the good news is if you're a first home buyer, the government is stinging to get you into the marketplace. Yeah. They're even willing to waive the stamp duty that they'd normally charge.
Lots of incentives. That is very important to point out.
It's huge.
All right, next fee.
And we have focused on buying, so we are going to move over to selling, but we are focusing on buying. The nitty-gritty dollars of buying. Bank fees.
Okay. So depending on who your lender is, your bank fees or your processing fees for your loan will be approximately between $500 to $1,500.
Yep.
All right. So there will be some sort of an institution fee that you will be up for. But in the scheme of things, really, if you're looking at buying, let's say, a $500,000 property, as you mentioned, Mark, you're not talking about a huge amount of money. Your big expenses are going to be your deposit and your stamp duty. They're the main ones.
But with the big four banks at the moment, they are throwing $4,000 into the equation. Yeah. Again, not everyone qualifies. Majority do. So there's $4,000 in it. So just to go with that bank, they will tip you in $2,000 to $4,000, generally $4,000 for a new loan. They're even doing that for refinances as well, guys and girls. So with bank fees, yes, there are some costs there to consider, but also consider the banks are throwing huge incentives to good customers.
Yeah. Very good. All right. Let's move over. Let's move over now.
This is very school teacher tonight.
Very school teacher.
Yes.
I've always liked thought of myself like a bit of a
I
school
don't know if
teacher.
I like it, but I like it. It's informative.
It is, yes.
It's informative.
So, guys, next we're going to move over onto sellers. So if you are... No, we're not. No, sorry, we haven't finished yet, guys. Back to buyers. Last fee that you'll be up for is going to be your solicitor or your conveyancing fees. So, guys, if you're buying a property, you will need to seek the advice of a solicitor or conveyancer. They're the ones that are going to do all your due diligence for you, or a good part of it for you. They're going to review contracts, strata reports, pest and building reports, and the likes. And they're going to charge you a fee for that. And so we're suggesting that about $2,000 is about the ballpark for that.
Ish.
Give or take. You might find someone at around the 1,500.
Exactly. Maybe a bit less. First time buyers that may be nice to you. Yeah, that's about the freight. So buying, I think we've covered most of the things there. Even, you have strata searches, checking if the building's all right, building inspections, checking if the house is all right. They will still fall under those solicitors' fees, but that's where it may tip over that $2,000 because of those sort of incidentals that are on there as well. So
that's it for our buyers. Let's move to sellers. So if you're selling a property, if you're a vendor, as we call a seller in real estate terminology, technical terminology, you are going to be up for some charges. It's not as tricky as you think. A lot of people out there don't know exactly what the costs associated are with bringing your property onto the market. So let's go over those. Now. You're right, Mark. Mark's doing the doodling today.
I like the doodling. So it is going to be. You ready for it? So on the selling price, how much do you guys reckon you're going to be paying out there for an agent? And it does get a bit tricky. That's how much. And
so commissions.
Is Anmal, she's saying g'day.
G'day. Hey, Anmal. So, guys, commission. So, as an agent, we only get paid on the successful sale of a property. I.e., if you do not sell a property as an agent, we don't get paid. We work for free up until the time that we've successfully sold the property. And so what Mark was showing you there is Mark's suggesting that on average, the general commission rate that you should be paying as a vendor is between 1.5 to 2.5% of the final sale price. Okay, so that's fee number one. That's your biggest fee.
I reckon we are one of the last industries in the country that is working for free unless successful. If not successful, free. Plumbers won't do it. Electricians won't do it. Doctors won't do it. There is not generally anywhere in the marketplace. I can't think of many. I was thinking on the way to work this morning when I was cruising, I can't think of any other industries. Let me know if you are an industry that pays for success rate, but it is a risky business. Generally, if you're very good at what you do, you always get paid, but there is always that element that we don't get paid. It's scary.
Correct.
Working real hard, real long, and not knowing. So that's an advantage for sellers, though.
It really is. So it's obviously as important to the agent as it is to the seller that we get you sold, all right? Because we only get paid once we have successfully sold you. And again, guys, the commission fee that you should expect to pay is somewhere between 1.5 to 2.5%. All right.
That little puppy.
Anything under that would be a little bit concerning, and anything over that, you've got to be asking the question why.
Mike Booth, good one. Mortgage brokers, success fees.
Yes.
A mortgage broker will only get paid if they get you the money.
Absolutely.
If they get you the money.
Absolutely the truth.
I won't take it away from mortgage brokers, because at the moment their business has changed a lot to how it was 3, 5, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But the amount of time and effort that goes in for an agent to generate a sale, although the work I've seen mortgage brokers having to do because of these goddamn rules out there with lending, I reckon that's starting to get up towards the work of real estate agents doing for a sale. So, but they are both industries. You're right, Mike. They are both industries where you're basically not getting paid unless you actually succeed in full.
So as an agent, we're extremely motivated to get your property sold as well. And then I think there's one thing that we shouldn't dismiss, and that is our reputation. So there's a lot of vendors that suggest that, you know, we just want to get a property sold because we want to get our commission. I mean, a business like ours, Mark, you know, where we've been running our own business for 19 years is only built on reputation. So it's critical that we're getting the best price for our vendors. But biggest cost factor, guys, for you sellers is going to be commission. Second cost.
Marketing. How much do you reckon, guys, you should be paying for marketing? I'd love to know. What do you reckon the number is? Give me a number. Like we're paying jackpot.
Yeah. So what have you got there, Mark? 14K too? Your hands
okay,
over
so
it.
I've got 1%. So 1%, 500 grand, 5K, $1 million, 10K. It's probably a bit rich. It's always been the measure, 1%. There's actually a downward pressure on it. So I've been ranting for a very long time. It's 1%, it's 1%, it's 1%. But I've just thinking out aloud, it's really interesting that figure, the amount of money that vendors have had to spend on marketing there's definitely a downward trend on how much they're spending because of digital.
I've heard absolutely. So marketing, like industry-wide marketing, you can expect to pay anywhere, as Mark said, from $4,000 all the way up. You've written 15,000, Mark. I've heard campaigns as much as 30 or 40,000.
Not lately though.
No,
that's my point.
No, we're here in the Northern Beaches. Sorry, I'm going to stop you there. I was talking to a girlfriend of mine who's in real estate in the eastern suburbs. It's not unusual for them to do $30,000 campaigns. Okay. They're still doing full pages in the local newspaper.
Well, right? Yeah, well, that's newspaper. Once the newspaper was always the animal that took a 10 or 20 grand chunk out of that marketing. But we're finding we're not getting that animal on the Northern Beaches anymore. So that's again, the owners are winning.
What replaced the newspaper? Don't even get me started on that, because you guys know I'm a massive advocate for social media. Really? But the great thing is, and again, marketing. So in real estate world, that is your costs there for marketing, thereabouts. We came up with a $0 marketing strategy a couple of years ago. We saw that there was a need, a necessity for it, for sellers in the marketplace to be able to give them the choice of offering them a $0 marketing strategy. So, it's a tried and tested approach. I've got a lovely vendor on here at the moment who I can see. It is certainly a tried and tested approach. And it will get you guys onto social media channels, $0 marketing, if you do want to dip your toes in and test that market. 70% of our stock sells there, FYI.
Other costs for selling?
Other costs for selling are, what have you got there next, Mark?
A lovely word, discharge.
Yep.
To discharge your mortgage, the banks will charge you, as in get rid of your mortgage.
Yep.
It's probably going to be anywhere between $300 up to about $1,000, guys. So the banks, there's paperwork that has to be done by our banks. They do tell you up front when you take your loan out a long time ago what they're going to charge you on a discharge.
Yeah.
And they will charge you that. So not big money.
Not big money, but still an expense that you guys need to take into account.
Yeah.
Now, the other one is we've also got conveyancing and solicitor fees when you are a seller as well. So contracts still need to be looked over and prepared.
Yep.
By a solicitor or conveyancer. And again, we're putting that ballpark figure of about $2,000 for a preparation of contract.
Yeah, I think for a seller, probably a bit more than a buyer. Hey, it's probably 2 to 3. But really serious stuff. And to get a good lawyer, to get good advice.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to charge a little bit more. You don't want to get cheap on your advice with a lawyer or a conveyancer. Not
only that.
It's you're moving $1 million bucks.
Can I tell you, we actually refer some phenomenal solicitors and conveyancers, and these guys have been able to get deals over the line because of the fact that they were available out of hours.
Yeah.
On a Saturday, I mean, we were talking about this the other day, just getting off kilter here. Yep. But we were talking about this the other day. The busiest day in real estate generally is a Saturday, right? That's when people are out buying. That's our show day. No solicitors to be found. So just a tip here, guys. If you are out there and you're looking to buy, make sure your solicitor's available on the weekend if you need them, because that could be the make or break if you're getting a deal over the line.
Well, I think, Will, you and I are talking about having a lawyer that doesn't work business hours.
Yeah.
We were having a chat on the phone. I thought, what a sick concept that if you had a legal like a conveyancer or a solicitor that gets to work at 6 p.m. and finishes at 6 a.m.
Can I just say there's so much room in the marketplace for an innovative
I'd be huge. And weekends,
solicitor or conveyancing practice to be open out of hours and to be able to move quickly.
Yeah.
We do love all you solicitors out there, but there's a lot of room there.
What happened to our 24 opening our office 24 hours a day?
COVID hit.
Yeah, we got closed.
COVID hit.
We got closed.
Now, I just want to make another point here. Double commissions. Guys, be real careful. If you are a seller and you are in an agreement with another agency,
yes,
the last thing you want to do is get into an agreement with another agency. If you didn't like the agent that you were with, don't go signing another exclusive agency agreement, because as the seller, as the vendor, you may very well be up for 2 commissions. You will be up for 2 commissions. So be real careful there, guys. Just because the agent that you initially signed up with didn't do the job that you felt you'd signed them up for, don't go signing an agency agreement with another agency, because you will be up for 2 commissions. Be careful there. And also always make sure, even if you're out of agreement with an agency, that you have notified them in writing. Even if the cutoff date was today, the 9th of November, always make sure that you have put in writing that you're still terminating that agreement, even if it has expired. Super, super critical. Okay. What else have you got there, Mark?
I've got a really good tip.
Yeah.
It just made me think about it just then.
Yes.
This little puppy here. Now, this talks about a 90-day exclusive agreement. That's about the term that agents ask for. And then you've got an open agreement.
When you're signing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're signing up your property.
So don't, and I'll tell you why we ask for an exclusive agency agreement. We ask for an exclusive agency agreement because we work for free. We want to have some sort of guarantee, any guarantee, if we're not going to get money, some guarantee of time to give us time to sell the property. That's why an agent asks for exclusive. But if you're ever deliberating on an agent and you got, we're talking about selling here, the do's and the costs of buying and selling.
Yeah.
This can be a significant cost if you don't structure this right, because 90-day agreement, don't like the agent, 90 days change. 120-day agreement, a lot of stuff goes down in 120 days. But just remember, you're in control of selling, guys. You are the boss. You have paid for the asset over 30 years or 20 years or 40 years. They're your terms. So you've got to sort of come to an arrangement with an agent. Yeah?
I love this, because so many people don't realise. So, I'll often say to a vendor, if they're going to go with another agent, doesn't happen often, but it does happen sometimes. If they're going to go with another agent, I always say to them, enter into a shorter agreement, because the agent that you're signing the agreement with may not be the agent that you think they are in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah.
You've signed up with X. Next minute, they've got little Johnny, the assistant, turning up to your open homes. Next minute, you've been sitting around on the market for way too long. You're not happy. You can't get out of a big, lengthy agreement.
That's true.
Negotiate a shorter agreement. All right. You can stay in it. The agreement will roll on until you've terminated it. But sign into the shorter agreement in case the person you sign up with is not the person that you actually find out, the agent that you find out.
Sometimes they may just break your heart after 30 days or 14 days and really leave a sour taste in your mouth. And if you're wedded to that person for 90 days, you don't really have an out. Now, it is your property. It is your asset. If you do have that trust, it's a beautiful way to endorse your agent. I really believe in being loyal to people and trusting people. I think you get that mirrored back. I think as a seller, to offer that guarantee of 90 days, it's a beautiful thing. But sometimes you're just up against a wall. You may have bought a property and you're like, you know what, I love you, like 10 out of 10, Mr. or Mrs. Real Estate Agent, but I just can't do 90 days. I can only do 30. Let's get a result. You're saying you can get it done in 30. Doesn't work at 30. Let's talk about the next 30.
Yeah, I always give people the option.
Cool.
I actually give them the option up front. Our agreement, just to be very transparent, is 120 days. Now, if I'm sitting opposite a vendor, I'll always say, look, let's do what you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Because I know that I'm going to build that relationship with my vendor straight away.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm going to work hard and do everything right by them. And so they've got no reason to leave. But I'd always, rather that we started off on their terms so that they didn't feel like they were going to be locked into something that they didn't know or with someone that they didn't know.
And guys, you think about it, I'd love to hear your feedback as well.
Yeah.
Let's talk about contracts that were exclusive for 12 or 24 or 36 months that are no longer. People used to stick with their bank for the whole time of the loan.
Yeah.
I remember my parents had the bank passbook. My mum used to go to the ANZ Bank in Chatswood to pay the mortgage once a month, and it stayed with ANZ the whole time. Times have changed.
Yeah.
So my point is the contracts aren't sexy anymore. People are not attracted to short or long-term contracts. Telstra won't sign you up on a contract anymore, for Christ's sake. They're like really old-fashioned. So I think at the end of the day, they're probably getting to be a little bit extinct, these contracts. So guys, just be careful. And why that's important and why we call it a selling cost is if you don't get that agency agreement right, you may be up for 2 commissions if you engage 2 agents at an exclusive at the same time, or 3 agents. You've got to be really careful.
That's right. There was something else now, it's just slipped my mind. The other thing is commission. Just getting back to commission. We only get paid commission on settlement, okay, most of the time, unless it's been negotiated another way. But as agents, we only get paid on the exchange, on the settlement. All right, so we will hold the deposit in our trust account, and we are not able to touch that money. It sits in a trust account. So as agents, we only get paid that money on settlement. So usually a standard settlement 6 weeks, right? Shorter settlement could be 4 weeks, but sometimes settlements can go for 6 months. So as agents, we have to ride that out for 6 months, not get paid, even though we did the good hard work 6 months beforehand. All right, I think that's critical to know as well. With marketing fees as well, just while we're talking money, most of the time, any marketing fees that are payable up front. And the reason that is because, and it's a question that I get asked all the time, I know we as an agency do, do I need to pay the marketing fees now? The short answer is yes. And the reason why is because these are third-party providers. Realestate.com, the photographer, the drone guy, they don't want to wait until you've settled on your property and got your money to get paid. They're not banks. They've got bills to pay. So that's why generally marketing fees are paid up front. As an agency, we actually have a pay now or pay later option, but we also have a $0 marketing option as well. That's not common in the industry. It's not a common. It's not a common option.
It's a weapon. People love it.
It's been phenomenal.
So it's been a real honeypot for us with clients. They've really enjoyed us being able to take the approach, not having to extract big money out of the client early. They can actually go into it slowly if they wish. Put their foot in the water. Yep, that's the price I was thinking. Let's go hard. Or yep, that's the price I was thinking. I'll take it. Or no, it's not really what I was thinking, but I haven't lost any money.
But Mark, we had this conversation the other day. I was doing some training the other day with some other real estate agencies, and I said, guys, you go to a restaurant and there's a menu with options there. Well, why wouldn't we have the same in the real estate industry?
Yeah.
So give sellers options. Not every seller, A, has the money. B, really wants to sell, is motivated only by price. And so they don't want to fork out $5,000 or $6,000 in marketing just to test the market.
It's well said.
So give people options, and I think that's critical. What else have we got to cover on this topic? This is a great topic, actually. This is hard info to find. I want to say hi to a couple of people. I want to say hi to the lovely Naomi. I can see you watching. Thank you so much. Romper room. Thank you so much for your comments, guys. Hey to Mike and Sasha and Anmol. Hello to everyone, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope this info has been really, really helpful for you.
If anything helps you in this, tag a friend, because that helps us as well.
100%.
Get the message out there. Share it. Tag your buddy in it. Share it. Get it out there. It helps us. Helps you. Helps your buddies. I think that's a wrap. We pretty much Trump's won.
No, we didn't.
Sorry, not Trump. I just did a Biden. I just had a Biden moment. Trump. You know what?
He doesn't watch the news very often.
No, I knew that. I've gone on red. Hey,
Biden.
The Trump thing's over. Biden.
Yeah.
So one thing that I was saying, I don't ever feel, and I know you should talk about political stuff, but I don't ever feel it was a Biden race. I always felt it was a Trump win or a Trump lose race. There was never the Biden sort of, it was either
he certainly wasn't as aggressive. No. The campaign wasn't as aggressive.
Trump's won. I still think he's won in my mind, though. Am I trying to backtrack
He
on
probably
this?
thinks he's won in his mind too.
But
can I just say, someone said something to me today about, what's going on in America and what did I think? And I said, you know what? It's important, but I don't know that it's that important to us. And I think in life we tend to get consumed with things that just don't really concern us. I'm very good at staying focused.
Oh, it took away a month of media life.
But people were talking about it, and like, we love America, and yes, we understand that America is really the pinnacle of the world. Sorry, China, but you know, it is. But I just think, like, don't worry about concerning yourself with things that don't really concern us. It's not our country, and that's great. And like, good luck. May the best man win, you know, but it's been interesting. I must say the debate was pretty funny to watch.
Yeah, but
it's like watching the Kardashians.
I don't know. It's very, very interesting. It's been very. Why do they say Trump's won?
Because you just, I don't know. I'm not even going to say. I don't want to get ourselves in hot water. I don't want to get ourselves in hot water.
Yeah, I just feel. Yeah, I know. I just feel like he's. Yeah, I don't mind. So, you know, I like both of them.
Can I also just say, just while we've got a few minutes here as well, that we are going to be open every single day all through Christmas and New Year. The only days that we are going to be closing is going to be the public holidays.
Yeah.
And even then we're available. Like, we're available on our phones. That's critical. The industry generally shuts down, including solicitors and most real estate agencies will shut down from about the 20th of December, and they generally won't reopen until the 2nd of Jan.
That's tough if you really want to sell during that period or really want to rent your property out in that period. Like, my heart goes out to people that have a vacant unit mid-December, no tenant, and then the agent packs up shop on the 20th or the 18th or the 22nd, and it's gone for 2 weeks. And it happens to probably 90% of the industry, maybe 95% of the industry. So it's a good period. It's a good period to, if you're a local Northern Beaches person, for us to help you, should you get into a bind through that period as well. And not only that, if you're selecting an agent to rent out your property now, and you're selecting an agent to sell your property now, if you're considering a plan B, your agent needs to operate through December and January for a good and effective plan B.
But, you know, guess when the busiest months are in our business?
Yep.
Guess when the busiest months are for the property portals?
Digital.
Guess when the busiest months are for social media?
Yep.
December, January.
Yep, that's when people have got time, mate.
Fact, people have got time. Guess where people are going to be holidaying over Christmas and New Year?
Yep.
Northern Beaches.
Yep.
I know heaps of people that are Airbnb-ing their properties here, and I know heaps of people that are coming from the western suburbs, the southern suburbs, over here to the Northern Beaches and calling it a holiday, because forget about going to Byron, it's booked out.
Yeah.
Terrigal, booked out. The entrance booked out. I know, because we've been looking.
And I think also that that December and January, you sort of want to, particularly being the year it's been, I think you want to just you want to do you know, so you want to do family, kids, health, eat, whatever, drink. You want to do you. So I think also people's inhibitions with property is pretty big. You know, you sort of, when you want to dream or when you want to aspire or when you want to get shit done, those 2 months are key.
So it's funny you said that, because I was talking to a prospective vendor today, and she actually asked me the question. She said, look, you know, have we left it too late? And I said, no, you definitely haven't. I said, it's really, really busy out there. There's a flurry of buyers. And then I sort of went over the whole, we're going to be available over Christmas, New Year, la, la, la. And she said to me, you know what, it never makes sense to me. She said, I'm always calling a bloody real estate agent when I'm sitting down on my holidays over Christmas, New Year. No one's available. Yeah. So that's exactly why we're working.
So buying or selling, consider the agent that you're buying or selling with, because of that December and January hype of activity. It's the number one. They are the number 1 and 2 months for the entire year for researching real estate. That's December and that's January.
I agree.
So you got to consider that.
Just on a finishing note, guys, because we are going to wrap up now, I just want to say, ask questions when you are buying or selling. Ask questions to the real estate agent, i.e., is the commission negotiable? Are the days of the agreement, or the number of days on the agreement negotiable? Right? Ask questions, because we will give you the answers. Most of the time, the answer is yes. Most of the time it will be.
You know what I love asking the competitors the questions. Often, you know, if you walk into a BMW dealership, you ask the guy, you tell them you're considering buying a Mercedes, they will give you all of the rundown on the Mercedes.
Yeah.
And it's not a bitchy thing. It's just a good comparisons thing. So often people have done the research and done the comparison for you. You just need to ask.
That's it. Ask the questions. Guys, I think that is a wrap. Hopefully that's been really, really helpful for you guys. We'd love it if you would share this information. It is good, valuable info. You're not going to find it anywhere.
Trump
so
didn't
we'd
win?
love if you could share it. Sorry to tell you, you didn't win. No.
Trump's won.
Sorry or not sorry. It depends who you back for. Guys, have an awesome week. Thank you for watching. Love you guys.
See you, everyone. Love
See
you.
ya.
Bye.
Bye.